Mic. Oh, shit. So the three things I think I've learned that are the most important things I've learned while being on this trip would be, in no particular order, composition, shutter speed, and ND filter. So starting off with ND filter, because I think that's probably the most important in my opinion. The ND filter I got is the Peter McKinnon 2 to 5 stop. It was about $250, probably one of the more expensive ND filters, but it does come with this special lens cap. This lens cap has made the workflow, I guess, for lack of better words, while being on this trip a lot smoother. The ease of use for it, just putting it right on top of the screen and taking it right off, whether it be inclement weather or just, time to put the camera away. It's been very, very, very clutch and very easy to use. Obviously, the actual function of the ND filter is to kind of make the sunlight a little less harsh. And I feel like that's come in handy so many times because it's been so hot and so sunny out here. But also just getting an opportunity to maybe lower my exposure without having to give up my shutter speed at certain moments, and also just having an opportunity to really dial in exactly where I want my exposure to be without changing any of the actual digital settings on the camera. It has been very, very, very helpful. Shutter speed, I would say, is very important, obviously, because in order to catch moving objects, you're gonna need your shutter speed to be a little higher. I've noticed for me, my sweet spot this trip has really been in between 125 and 250. So yeah, shutter speed, the importance of it is huge. I've had a few shots that I've ruined during this trip, to be honest. It's all a learning process. But I've had a few shots that I've ruined on this trip because my shutter speed was too low, and sometimes the sunlight or even just the moment itself has passed, and you can't recreate that situation. So getting an opportunity to realize the importance of shutter speed more than I realized it before has been huge. Last but not least, what is it, shutter speed, ND filter? Composition. I feel like composition is the most stressed out of the three on this list for me and probably a lot of you all at home, because composition is one of those things where you have to practice to learn it. I have always had an eye for art, and I feel like for me, composition kind of came naturally. I didn't really have to stress too much over it. It kind of just felt right, so I didn't really have to stress over it too much. And just being in the moment, right? Seeing things how I would see them in a frame almost, like people always do this thing or whatever. Now I actually understand why they do it, because, I guess you're just trying to get a better understanding of how the frame is gonna look overall as a whole when you're done. I always have the rule of thirds set up on my screen. Even as I'm recording right now, I can see the rule of thirds. I feel like that's extremely important because now when I look at things, I don't look at them as just a blank square. I see it like this, and I see the rule of thirds in between it. So I'm always just framing stuff. And when I see something, I don't just see it, I frame it in my head. I'm very visual as well. So composition is something that I don't think you should stress over too much. I think you should just kind of see what you like and just take pictures. And then I think throwing the rule of thirds on there if you don't have much experience with composition. But yeah, man, overall, I think those are the three things I learned over this vacation that have been most important for me and have changed my photography as a whole. I think there's still plenty more to learn. You can never stop learning, especially when it comes to art, because it's just limitless. I hope you guys learned something from this video. And if you have any comments or any tips for me or any advice for me, feel free to drop it in the comments section. Appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you liked the setup for this video. I took advantage of some practical lighting. I'm composed right in the middle here. I'm doing my thing, man. I'm practicing, bro. But I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you on the next one.